So let's dive to question 1. We are told to answer all the questions in this paper. Number 1, state 3 characteristics of liquids. Now, one of the examples of a substance that is liquid is water. Another one is milk. Another one is paraffin. So those are liquid substances. So let us see their characteristics. They have the ability to flow. So in other words, we can say they flow easily. They flow easily. Do they have volume? Yes. They have definite volume. That is another characteristics. How about the shape? They don't have a definite shape. So in that case, we can say they do not have definite shape. Are they easy to compress? No, in that case, they are not. So we can add D. This one is for the sake of a revision. They are not easily compressible. Compressible. So those are some few characteristics of liquids. Number 2, define the term diffusion. Now, we know that diffusion, it is 2 marks. Diffusion in this case is just the movement of particles beneath the solid, beneath the gas, beneath the liquid. So in that case, we are talking about the particles of gas and solid. It is not easy for the particles of liquid to diffuse unless they are changed into vapor form, that is the gas. Now, in that case, we're just going to mention molecules. So the diffusion is the movement of molecules, from their region, of high concentration, to their region of low concentration. So that is what we are referring to as diffusion. When particles diffuse, for instance, perfume, the particles of perfume can spread from the region where they are high to the region where they are low, and that is what we call diffusion. Another thing is the ink particles or the dyes. So those particles can move from where they are highly concentrated to where they are lowly concentrated. Let us move to number 3. Name any 2 substances that undergo temporary chemical changes. They undergo temporary chemical what? Changes. Now, we know that when we talk about chemical change, a new substance is formed. That is true. A new substance does what? Is formed. But this is temporary. Let us see temporary. Number 1. One of those substances is anhydrous. Let's talk about anhydrous because it undergoes some changes to become hydrated. So anhydrous copper 2 sulfate. So these are chemicals. So that is why we are talking about chemical changes. These are chemicals. Number 2 is anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride. This is another substance. So all these 2 substances, when we want to test for water, test for the presence of water, these are the tests for water. So you just add the liquid. Let's say you have 5, 3, 2 liquids, and you want to test whether these liquids are water. You use these 2 chemicals. And when you add water to anhydrous copper 2 sulfate, it will change to blue 1. Are you getting that? So why is that happening? because it is a temporary chemical what? Change. So it will turn to be hydrated. It will turn to be hydrated. When it undergoes hydration and there is a color change, then it means that it is hydrated. List two applications of the changes of state of matter in daily life. Remember, anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride changes from its original color to pink one. So let us see applications of the changes of states of matter in daily life. Number one, dry ice. Dry ice. When frozen ice changes from its state to another state, that is an application of the changes of states of matter. Frozen state. Number two is drying of clothes. Drying of clothes. Remember what happens when the clothes, when the clothes are, the laundry has happened, they become wet. And what makes them wet? The presence of water. When you hang them on the sun, what happens? The vapor, the liquid water changes to gas. And then all of a sudden, the clothes dry. The clothes does what? Dry. So that is a change of state of matter from liquid to gas. And that process is called what? Condensation. Condensation. So that is what happens. No, not condensation. You have the formula. She met Lily eating green colored lemon from Sudan. So condensation is here, gas to liquid. But in that case, you are coming from liquid to gas. So the reverse of that one. So that is a change of state of matter. Another application, formation of fog. Formation or fog formation. Let's just shorten it as fog formation. Remember the change of state of matter in the morning where fog is being formed. Another one is the ice cubes. Ice cubes. How the ice cubes through the ice cream vendors. Those ice cubes are able to make the ice so solid and so cold. That is also an application of the changes of the states of matter. Another one is the refrigerators. Refrigerators. That is where, again, the application of the change of states of matter is happening. Refrigerators. So you find yourself, this one particularly makes food not to go bad. In other words, it does what? Preservation. It does preservation. So those are some of the application of the changes of the states of matter. So in other words, these particular applications, these particular areas, the substances that are put in them or themselves as the substances, they're able to change from one state of matter to another state of matter. Are you getting that? So that is why we are saying it is one of the application of the changes of states of matter in day-to-day life. We know about dry ice. Each and every time ice are being dried. Drying of clothes, that always happen. Fog formation, ice cubes, the vendors, ice creams, refrigerators. Those are some of the areas where the changes of states of matter in daily life happens. Number 5. Differentiate between an element and a compound. Now, we know that an element is a pure substance a pure substance that cannot be broken down, not D, but be broken down. or splitted. So you can either use broken down or be splitted into simpler substances, into simpler substances by either physical or chemical means. So that is the definition of an element. So make sure you talk about a pure substance. Make sure you talk about cannot be broken down. Into which substances? Simpler ones by either physical or chemical what? Means. Now, for instance, you talk about the element calcium in the periodic table. So this calcium, it must be pure. It cannot be broken down into any other substance. It is only calcium and calcium alone. If perhaps it has reacted with another one, let's talk about oxygen. So this is one element and this is another element. So when two or more elements combine together, they form what is called what? Compound. They form what we call compound chemically. So it therefore means that one element on itself is a pure substance and it cannot be broken down into any other substance. Whether you use the physical means or chemical means, you cannot break it down. You hammer it into smaller pieces, it will still be calcium. That is malleability. You do what is called ductility. You press it into wires if it can. It is going to still be what? Calcium. So there's no way you can reduce calcium into simpler substances. Whether you use the chemical ones, whether you heat it how many times, whether you apply hot temperature, it will not turn to any other thing. It will still be calcium. So that is an element. How about compound? Now, a compound, because it is differentiation, you have to use some words like while, whereas, while a compound are, so because we cannot talk about a compound as is, are two or more elements chemically joined together. Chemically joined together. Now, for instance, you talk about carbon, an element, number 6 in the periodic table. Oxygen, an element in the periodic table, 8. These two they can either form carbon 2 oxide or carbon 4 oxide. So in symbol, carbon 2 oxide is written this way, carbon 4 oxide is written this way. So what happens when it forms carbon 2 oxide? It means oxygen is limited. There is a less oxygen. How about when it forms carbon 4 oxide? Oxygen is unlimited. There is a large amount of oxygen. So that is what happens. So to differentiate elements and compounds. And right now, I hope you've known the difference between an element and a compound. These questions are common, and particularly to grade 8 learner and grade 9 student who is also going through this paper. Remember that elements, compounds, they are usually the common questions. So an element is just a pure substance that cannot be splitted into simpler substances, whether you apply physical or whether you apply chemical way. Compounds, two or more elements joined together. When you join two or more elements or you combine them together, that is what we call a compound. Fill in the table below. That is question 6. So we have the element, a name, and symbol. So sodium has a symbol of capital N, small a. This is Be, so this is called beryllium. Make sure you check the spelling. Argon has a symbol of capital A, small r. This capital A, small l, that is aluminium. That is aluminium. Kindly check the spelling. Fluorine has a symbol of capital F. So That table is just filled like that. You go home with 5 marks. So you have to know from element 1 of the periodic table, hydrogen, to element 20 of the periodic table, calcium. Are you getting that? You have to know whether it is element 15, phosphorus, element 4, beryllium, element 5, boron, element 10, neon. Are you getting that? So you must have these elements stuck in your brain. Let them stick there. Let them stick there. It is very, very important when you study integrated science. It is for your betterment as a learner. Kindly master the 20 elements of the periodic table. I'm telling you this because if you're interested in careers like medicine, you are interested in careers like you want to do nursing, you want to be a clinical officer. Are you getting that? Public health officer. You want to be a neurosurgeon. You must know these elements as well. They are very important for your life. They are very, very important for your life. You will do what is called chemistry in senior school for you to venture into such careers. You will also venture into biology as a subject in grade 10, grade 11, and grade 12. So these particular elements will be very helpful because you as a doctor, you want to design drugs, you are interested in such areas, you must know these elements. It is these elements that are also combined to make the drugs. So they are very, very important. Let us move to number 7. If you have any question under these particular elements, you want to know more about compounds, you want to know more about the changes of state of matter, you want to know about the changes of states of matter, right from the physical changes, the permanent, look for me, temporary ones, look for me. You have a challenge in diffusion, osmosis, look for me. Characteristics of liquids, gases, and even solids, kindly look for me. This is the number you can access me. So 0790199736. This is called the Kenya Science access number. So you can use this number to access us anytime you want. Anytime you want to access teacher Zamalek. Anytime you want to access your math teacher. Anytime you want to access biology, chemistry, physics teacher, use such a number 0790199736. And this is Kenya Science Academy, a home for excellence, where we offer always the best for learners. Remember, learners are subscribing. This is a nationwide school. It is a nationwide channel where all the learners from junior secondary have to join because there is no option. This one is for the entire nation. We are preparing learners for Kenya Junior Secondary Education. We are also preparing learners for the grade 12 exam that they are going to do for this coming year. Now, I mean the following months coming. Number 7, identify the elements that make up the following compounds. 3 marks. This is very, very simple. The elements that make up carbon 4 oxide. Those elements include carbon and oxygen. And in this case, I told you there must be enough oxygen for carbon 4 oxide to be produced because there are other carbons there are other compounds of carbon reacting with oxygen. So carbon 4 oxide is carbon and oxygen. In symbol is CO2. So oxygen in this case exists as a molecule. Carbon exists as an element on its own. Water is made from hydrogen and oxygen. Water is made from hydrogen and oxygen. Water in symbol is H2O, 2 molecules of water and 1 element of oxygen. Now, you might ask yourself, why am I writing CO2, H2O? How is that even possible? There is a rule. There is a rule. When you venture into grade 12, you as a learner, maybe 3 years to come, 2 years to come, 1 year to come, it is very, very simple. It is very, very simple. There is a topic called stoichemistry or balancing of chemical equation. There is where you will know elements. Once you know the elements, it begins from right now, junior school. You venture into your senior school. Again, elements are learned there, but now you will learn them in broad. So don't worry, these things are very simple. There is a rule. And I think I will also venture into a grade 9 paper here. And when I get such a question, how to balance equation, I will explain to you how these elements exchange what is called valency. They exchange valency. And how are they able to interchange or exchange them so that they form a compound of the nature. Sodium bromide has an element of sodium and bromine. Sodium and bromine. So that was a 3 mark. Give one importance of each of the following elements. Again, another 4 marks. Very simple. Importance of gold. Now, gold is used in making jewelry. In making jewelry. 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 Another use of gold is making of medals. Making of medals. So that is one of the uses of gold. Gold is used in making jewelry and medals. Iron. Making nails. Making what? Nails. Remember, I'm not talking about the nails of that are found within the hand or the arm itself. I'm talking about the nails that are used to fix the iron sheets or the hoods together. Yes. So that brings me to another thing, the sheets. They are also used in making what? Sheets. Making nails. Those are iron. Iron is also used in making, what? Steel. So let us continue. Nitrogen. Nitrogen has chlorophyll. So it is a compound that makes the chlorophyll. Hence, it is important in photosynthesis. Hence, important in photosynthesis. Hence, important in photosynthesis. Helps the plant to manufacture their food. So nitrogen is also a very, very vital element present in the chloroplast. It is an element present in the chlorophyll. And once we know that there is chlorophyll, photosynthesis happen. Now let us move to oxygen. Oxygen uses, number 1, used in hospital, important in hospital, for patients with breathing difficulties, with breathing what? Difficulties. That is number 1 use of oxygen. We have a lot of uses of oxygen. Important. In sea diving, in sea and mountain. Sea diving, mountain climbers. Let me just differentiate them in that way. Sea divers or sea diving. It is important in sea diving. We have mountain climbing. Those are some of the uses of oxygen. Cutting of metals. Or rather, welding. So, those are uses of oxygen. We have a lot. Combustion. Oxygen is used in combustion. Combustion means what? Burning. Combustion means burning. When you burn something, that is combustion. So those are some of the uses of oxygen in hospital, in sea diving, mountain climbing, cutting of metals, combustion. Those are some of the uses of oxygen. Let us move to question 9. I hope we are moving together. List 2 uses of the information on packaging labels of commonly consumed substances. Now, we realize that commonly consumed compounds have some labels that are on their surfaces. If it is a polythene that is housing that consumed substance, you realize that there's some writings on that particular polythene. Those are what we call packaging labels. One of the examples of packaging label is the food label. So let us continue. What are some of the information there? Number one, name of the manufacturer. Name of the manufacturer. Who manufactured this particular product? Name of the manufacturer. That is one of them. How to use the product. That is another information. How to use the product. That is uses. How to use the product. That is how we can use this particular information. List to uses. Uses. Where is it used? How to use the product. Storage of the product. Storage of the product. To know the storage of the product, to know the name of the manufacturer, to know how to use the product. Those are some of the uses of the information on packaging labels. The ingredients used. Ingredients used. Those are the information that we find there. Expiry date. Expiry date. Manufacturing date. Those are some of the information that we find there. Those are some of the information that we find there. Number 10. Name the three components of fire triangle. Three components of fire triangle. So simple, so simple. Remember, a fire triangle is just a diagram and it is triangular in nature. This way, it is designed to always show the components that are available in fire or that are available for fire to happen. Those components make up the fire triangle. They include three: oxygen, fuel, and heat. So number one, source of heat. There must be source of heat. There must be fuel or combustible material. Combustible material. So when I say combustible, I told you combustion means burning. So a substance or a material that is able to burn. That is what we call a combustible material. Number three, heat. There must be heat. So those are the three components of fire triangle. Number 11. Describe 4 ways of controlling fire. Number 1, installing a fire triangle. Installing a fire triangle. If you install, no, fire extinguisher, sorry. So how will, of course, fire triangle will tell us the components of fire, but now we need to talk about fire what? Extinguisher. So you have to install a fire extinguisher. That particular fire extinguisher is able to put out fire. Number 2, installing smokers. So those smokers, remember, smokers have carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is able to do what? Extinguish what? Fire. So install the smokers. Install the smokers. Number 3, do what? Campaign. So the spelling of campaign, very, very important. Campaign against. So instead of doing even campaign, make awareness. So we need to, that campaign is making awareness about the safety of ourselves. So make awareness about how to control fires. So awareness, that is just the campaign I was talking about. Campaign. So we need to campaign, make awareness about how to control what? Fire. Install smokers. You install a fire extinguishers. We want to control fire. Now, have or use a fire blanket to control fire. We can also use sand to control fire. So those are some of the ways. Smokers are there, extinguishers are there, campaign, fire triangle, fire blanket and sand. Those ways we can control fire. Number 12. Grade 7 students observe the equipment below in their school laboratory. So this equipment is a fire extinguisher. So identify the piece of the equipment. Number 1, that question 1, this is a fire extinguisher. Or carbon 4 oxide fire extinguisher. I will mark that one. So as an examiner, you say carbon 4 oxide fire extinguisher, you get a mark because you can easily see it is labeled carbon 4 oxide. When they looked more closely, they noted the acronym PASS written on the piece of the equipment. What does the acronym stand for? There is the PASS. So number 1, P. Now P stands for pull up the pin. So we need to pull up the pin. We need to pull up the pin. That is true from above there. A stand for M, the nozzle. Aim the nozzle at the lower end of the fire extinguisher. At the lower end or the lower part, aim the nozzle at the lower part. That is the next. So you aim the nozzle is up there. S stand for what? S stand for what? Now, I want to give you also an assignment because if truly this is learning, we have to know whether you are with me. I have to know whether we are together because I have to give you 75 or rather 70%. The rest 25 should be yours. Kindly, along the comment section, tell me what this third or the S stand for in this acronym PASS. In this acronym PASS. So you need to tell me, is it? I was about to tell the answer, but now the third one or the fourth one, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze from side to side. That one is to squeeze from side to side. So kindly, this number, it is number 12B. Number 12B, kindly give me the acronym S in this PASS word just on this fire extinguisher. Comment there, down there. Tell me, teacher, the S stand for this. Teacher, the S means this. Kindly tell me. That is your assignment. That is your assignment. Number 13. Name 4 classes of fire. Name 4 classes of fire. Now we have class A, type of fire, class B, class C, class D. We have class E and class F or K. So those are some of the classes of fire. They have their types. So like class A has ordinary, it is an ordinary type of fire. Class B, flammable liquids. Class C, flammable gases. Class D are metals. Class E are electrical fires. Class F, okay, are cooking fires or cooking oil. So you need to know classes and the types of fire. Number 14, describe 3 challenges associated with the menstrual cycle. Now, one of the challenges associated with menstrual cycle, remember ladies or women are able to experience what? Cramps. Another one is abdominal pain. So pain within the abdomen. Abdominal what? Pain. Sometimes they have nausea. Sometimes they experience vomiting. There are others that experience what? Vomiting. Others experienced headache. Those are some of the challenges they experience. Are you getting that? Now, excessive bleeding. Excessive what? Bleeding. Those are some of the challenges they experience. So, the challenges are too many. Mood swing. Mood swing. That is another challenge. That is another challenge. Mood swing. So, remember, those ladies or those women, they go through a lot. They go through a lot. As a biology teacher, I know and understand. A lot is going through them. A lot is going through them. So they experience a lot of challenges during this moment. So those are some of the challenges they have during that period. So remember, it is a biological process. We cannot control it. It has to happen for their betterment. Number 15. Differentiate between fertilization and implantation. Now, what is fertilization? Now, fertilization refers to the fusion of sperm cell or male gamete sperm cell and ovum cell to form a zygote, in the oviduct, So what happens is that when the sperm cell and ovum cell are able to fuse or unite or come together, a zygote is formed. And when this zygote is formed, where is it formed? In the oviduct. Or fallopian tube, or fallopian what? Fallopian tube. That is what we call fertilization. I'm not advising you to go and try this. You are still young. You still have ambition. You still have visions to accomplish. You are very small. You are still a child. So don't venture into this right now. Your time is coming. When the time is right, you will make it happen. You will make it happen. Now, remember, it is a differentiation. So we have to say while implantation refers to the attachment, refers to the attachment of fertilized egg. Once the egg has been fertilized, in other words, it is called blastocyst. So the fertilized egg is what we call a blastocyst. The attachment of fertilized egg to the lining of the uterus, or womb. That is what we call implantation. So once the egg cell and ovum cell fuses together and a fertilized zygote is formed. The zygote is formed in the oviduct. After some time, it moves from the oviduct to the womb, to the uterus. It attaches itself to the lining of the uterus. That is what we call implantation. Number 16. List 3 functions of the skin. So number 1 function, it stores fat, stroke adipose tissues, So that one is the function of what? The skin. Where is it specifically? Layer of fat or subcutaneous layer. Good. Number B, regulate body temperature. That is another function of the skin. Regulate body what? Body temperature. The skin is able to cool the temperature when it is too hot, and it is able to make sure the body temperature gets some heat when it is too cold. The body gets some heat when it is too cold. So that is regulating what? Body temperature. It is also a sensory organ. Sensory what? Organ, and that is another function of the skin. Synthesis of vitamin D. Synthesis of vitamin D. So it is this particular part of the organ or organ of the body that is able to manufacture vitamin D. It is able to absorb the sun rays, the light, the rays from the sun, not the light. So remember, vitamin D is got from the sun. So it helps in manufacture of that vitamin D. So we get the vitamin D from the sun through the skin. Through the skin. These are some of the few answers about the functions of the skin. Another very, very important, which I was forgetting, is protection. So the skin is able to protect us against the entry of bacteria, the entry of virus, and even fungi, and even what? Fungi. So that is another area where the skin is very, very important. So the skin is able to provide protection to the body against the entry of germs. And in this case, we're talking about bacteria. We're talking about a virus. We're talking about fungi. That is a very, very important role of the skin. Number 17, I hope we are moving well. We are moving together. We are moving using the right pace. If I am too fast, kindly comment down within the comment section that Teacher Zamalek, please go slowly. Go slowly. Now, name two parts of the urinary system and state their functions. Now, you realize that the urinary system is made up of kidney, it is made up of ureter, it is made up of bladder, it is also made up of urethra. So let's give the function. Now, number one, ureter. Ureter. Ureter transports urine from the kidney to the bladder. Transport urine from the kidney to the bladder. Another part is the bladder, which I'm talking about there. Now, what is the role of bladder? Once the urine has been filtered, once the blood has been filtered by the kidney, remember kidney filters blood to remove waste products. So when that happens, urea, excess water, excess salt are being eliminated. And where are they going? They are going to the bladder. They form urine, urea, excess water, excess salt. They form urine. When they form urine, this urine is being transported from kidney that has filtered it to downtown, downtown, the bladder. So down the bladder. So the bladder there stores now the urine temporarily. Stores urine temporarily. Not permanently in this case. Temporarily means once the brain has triggered your organs that the urine has now been made and it is within the bladder stored there. It is now to be eliminated out of the body. And that is when you feel the urge of urinating. That is now the moment that now you feel the urge of urinating. So when you talk about kidney as another part of the urinary system, it filters blood to remove waste. When you talk about urethra, which I have not mentioned, is to allow urine pass out of the body. That is the function of the urethra. So that is how that is happening. Now, describe how an object is charged. Describe how. There are two ways. Number one way is through rubbing. Through rubbing. So when you rub those two objects together, a charge is going to be ignited. A charge is going to be ignited, the negative and positive. So when you rub two, for instance, you have two balloons and you rub them on your hair. Are you getting that? A charge is going to be produced. Number two is through induction. Through induction. Induction is just to induce. To induce means that you take one of the charged object Bring it closer. Bring it closer to the uncharged object. Uncharged what? Object. This uncharged object is going to be induced and acquire some charges. Are you getting that? So those are some of the two ways we can do what? We can allow objects have charges. So through rubbing and through induction. Number 19. State four sources of electricity in our environment. Sources of electricity. How can we acquire electricity? Number 1, solar power. Solar what? Solar power. Remember the solar cells, which are able to convert the energy from the sun to electrical energy that we need. So solar power is one of them. Number 2, we have hydroelectric generators. Hydroelectric power, electric power generators. Again, we're talking about water, hydro, that is water. We have geothermal generators, power generators, geothermal power generators. Number 3, we have wind power generators, wind power generators. So that is, and again, electricity from wind. And this, which I'm mentioning, they are called, there's a difference between renewable and non-renewable. So these are renewable sources of electricity, in that when you use them, they're not going to get finished. So you will reuse them, reuse them, reuse them, renew, renew, and renew. But you will always use them forever. But the ones called non-renewable, once you use them, tap, that is, their life has ended from there. Their life ends from there. So you cannot reuse them again. No, they are called non-renewable. So wind power generators, they are sources of it. Source means where it comes from, its origin. So how are we going to generate? How are we going to generate electricity? Through the wind, through geothermal, through hydro, electric, through water, solar power. So those are some of the ways. Another one is dry cell. Dry cell also generate electricity, electric charges. Remember, they have positive and negative charges. They also generate electricity, but these ones are non-renewable. Another one is the electric dynamos. So those dynamos, or bicycle dynamos. In fact, you should say bicycle dynamos. So I think it is BICY, bicycle dynamos. These ones also are non-renewable and they have charges. Those are some of the sources of electricity. I have already given you how many? 6. Oh my God. Those ones are even too much for you, too much. You only need to know 4. Name the parts of the plant cell below. Name the part of the plant cell. Or to the Somalis who are also going through this paper, we talked about Allah, mashallah, or inshallah. 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 Name the part mentioned A. That is cell wall, the outer cell membrane, or the outer layer. Sorry to mention that the outer cell membrane, but the outer layer. The outermost layer is called cell wall. This cell wall has what we call cellulose. This is what makes the cell membrane, the outer layer, to be hard. It is very, very hard. It houses what is inside, protects. B is cell membrane now. Cell membrane. The other name of cell membrane is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane or plasma lemma. Are you getting that? Let's move to C. C is the nucleus. C is the nucleus. C is the nucleus, which controls the activities of the cell. Remember how nucleus is situated along the periphery of a plant cell. So that is where it is put. D, where's D? D is the cytoplasm. That space, cytoplasm. D is the cytoplasm. How about E? E is the subvacuole. E is the subvacuole. Spelling wise, that is wrong. Let us just wrap that. Subvacuole. Good. So just like that, and you go home. So this part that is not labeled is called tonoplast. For your purpose, I'm here for you. Tonoplast. And this is a chloroplast. Good. Let us move to number 21. Give two differences between plant cell and animal cell. Differences. Oh, very simple. Very, very simple. Let us give the differences. Let us begin from here. So I want a larger space. So differences. Plant cell, animal cell. Oh, it is already written up there for me. Oh, so I'm just doing what is called redundancy. Let us avoid that. Let us avoid that. So already I have the differences with me there. So I can just extend this one that way, that way. Now, number one, let's begin from here. Number one, plant cell has cellulose cell wall, has cellulose cell wall. This one lacks cellulose cell wall, lacks cellulose cell wall. Number two, lacks, number two, lacks centriole, lacks centrioles. This one has centrioles. Number three, has chloroplast, has chloroplast, lacks chloroplast. Number three, oh, I mean number four, has a definite shape. Definite shape. This one lacks a definite shape. The shape is not defined. That is what I mean by definite shape. We don't know which shape is that. We don't know the type or the shape it is. So that is what I mean by saying it lacks a definite shape. A shape that I can easily see and tell that this shape is rectangular or circular, oval, and all that. So those are some of the common differences. Those are some. If you talk about the nucleus, in plant cell, let me just add, nucleus is placed or situated along the periphery, along the periphery. Periphery just means towards the outer cell, outer surface. So you see, this is the nucleus here. It is just placed towards the cell wall and cell membrane. But when you look at that for animal cell, the nucleus is just placed where? At the center, at the center. So it means in that case that the nucleus is centrally placed. So that is number 5. Nucleus is centrally placed. Centrally placed. Very good. Number 21, which I suppose is the last question for this paper. Wow, what a wonderful paper. Your teacher has gone through the paper. It's a very, very nice paper. And remember, you have a work to do for me. Number 12B. Find me what this S stand for. Find me what this S stand for. I am there and waiting along the comment section, or just write that number 0790-199-736 and text me via WhatsApp. Remember, this Kenya Science is for academic excellence, nothing else, nothing else. So you can always comment, or you can always give your responses via the WhatsApp. Not any other platform, WhatsApp or just along the YouTube here or in the YouTube here, along the comment section. Number 21. Lekupesi used a microscope to observe a specimen. Hey, what a name. What a name. Amazing. The eyepiece lens had a magnification of ×4. So eyepiece lens. Eyepiece. Remember, this one is also taught in grade 12. The first topic, eyepiece lens ×4. Good. And the total magnification was ×60. Total magnification is equals to ×60. Calculate the magnification of the objective lens. Wow, amazing. So from what we know, in real life, we need to talk about what we know. Don't talk about the theory. Don't talk about something that you don't know. Huh? When you talk about something that you don't know, it therefore means that you are a liar. Learn to say the truth. Learn to say the truth. Talk about the facts. Talk about what you know. So what we know, what we know, the fact is that when you want to find total magnification, we are going to have eyepiece lens times objective lens. So how about when we want to have objective lens? We're just going to divide this by eyepiece lens. We're going to divide this by eyepiece lens. So that eyepiece lens cancel what? Eyepiece lens. What remains on this side? Objective lens. So objective lens is equals to total magnification all over eyepiece lens. Eyepiece lens. As simple as that. As simple as that. So in that case, total is 60 over eyepiece lens is 4. What is that? Remember to put your answer in times, because what is magnification? How many times? Are you getting that? The image object, the image size appears large as compared to the object size. So let's go. Remember to have your calculator. I have mine with me because biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, those core subjects, they need to be calculated. There's some math within them. You want to be a doctor, oh, you need to know how to prescribe drug. Oh. So we have 60 divided by 4. That is 15. So because it is 15, our answer should not be 15. The final answer should be times 15. Are you getting that? How many times? So I think that marks the end. Yes, that marks the end. That marks the end. You can easily see. So I wish to write here end, big end. Eh? A big end. So by who? By teacher Zamalek. By teacher Zamalek. So by teacher Zamalek. Always call, access us 0790199736. Remember, this is Kenya Science Academy. A reminder for you that if you have not subscribed, hey, it's upon you. Remember, all Kenyans are here. All Kenyans are here. Kenyans are subscribing. Kenyans are subscribing. All learners are here. Those grade 7, grade 8, grade 9. Thank you for your time. Let's meet next time. That is in grade 9. I'm going to have a paper with the grade 9s. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Always check Kenya Science Academy area or a platform that best suits all. Thank you.